What's going on, guys? Let's keep the conversation going. We're talking about 5 running backs you definitely 100% want to avoid for fantasy football 2025. I'm going to dive into this list here for you so you guys can avoid potential downfalls on your fantasy team this year. You don't want to end up with Christian McCaffrey. Remember last year, everyone told you draft Christian McCaffrey first overall. He was on every magazine, every website, everybody and their mother told you gotta get CMC. I told you not to. So you gotta heed my warning here with these 5 running backs, and you gotta be careful because you don't want to end up drafting them and end up have them bust on your team and screw your entire fantasy football season. So if you're new to the channel, smash it, tap it, slap it, hit the thumbs up, drop a comment below. Let me know what you guys think of these running backs once I go through them. Are you going to be avoiding them? Are you going to be drafting them? Love to get your feedback after I've made my points because I'm going to explain why you need to avoid them, okay? Very, very important. And also, pre-order 16 rounds. You can get it now. Use code DRAFT, save 20%. Get in right now. Grab the 16-round draft session. You'll be very, very, very happy, all right? So let's dive into these 5 running backs that I'm avoiding for fantasy football 2025. The first one is Chase Brown. Currently sitting number 11 amongst running backs, finished 10th last year in PPR amongst running backs. Let's take a look at his stats. Not bad last year, 229 attempts, 990 yards, 4.3 yards per carry, 7 tutties, and the guy got some receiving game done as well, 54 receptions, not bad. So he got involved a little bit everywhere last year. Now, the issue I have with Chase Brown, I'm going to talk about, I'm going to be straight up with you, is the guy was a 5th round pick. Guys, teams don't respect 4th to 5th round pick running backs. They just don't do it. I'm going to be preaching this. I'm going to be screaming this. I'm going to keep talking about this. I cannot imagine a world where Chase Brown makes it out of this NFL draft untouched, meaning them not drafting somebody else. I definitely see the Bengals drafting somebody else. I can't imagine going into the season as Chase Brown, a 5th round pick as your starting running back. Now they're investing over $120 million a year between Higgins, Chase, and Burrow. You're just going to have to level up your running back game. Chase Brown ain't it. Now, if he does end up being the workhorse running back and they don't bring anybody else and they run with him and that washed up Zach Moss boss, I don't know if he's even been shipped off. He sucked last year. I told you he would. Then, you've got something here with Chase if they end up deciding that he is going to be the guy and they roll with him. But I just think it's very highly unlikely, okay? So Chase Brown, I'm not sold. I'm just not convinced based on where he was drafted that he's going to be the workhorse on such an expensive offense that you're going to settle for a 5th round pick running back. Again, we saw the Falcons do with Algier, 1,000-yard rusher, and they ended up drafting Bijan. So look for him to have some company after this NFL draft. Number 4 here. Got 5 running backs here. Again, smash it, hit the thumbs up, subscribe, drop a comment below. Let me know what you guys think, okay? Number 4 is Jonathan Taylor, sitting as RB9. He's still 26 years old. He finished 12th last year. Now, what I didn't like about him is he played 10 games in 2023, 11 games in 2022, and he played 14 last year. Had a decent campaign with his 4.7 yards per carry, 1,400 yards, 300 plus attempts. Not bad. But again, I have question marks about this offense. I have question marks about the quarterback situation. I have question marks about the Colts. I have question marks of Pittman being a true wide receiver 1, which I don't believe he is. And I have question marks about Taylor finishing a full season healthy. We just have not seen it for years. Again, had a decent year last year. What goes up must come down. He finally did decent. Is he going to come back down? I think so. Again, he was really good like 5 years ago, 6 years ago when he kind of came out. And ever since then, he hasn't had an amazing year. So Taylor, just not really a fan for a guy who's a top 10 running back. You're paying a premium for a guy, expecting him to perform on a top level when he just doesn't do it too often. I'm just not convinced. I just think there's better running backs to get that are, for that price, it's expensive. I mean, he's coming off ahead of guys like Ashton Genty. Like Genty's even cheaper at the time of this recording prior to the NFL draft. So I'm just not convinced on Taylor at all, okay? Number 3, this one's interesting. There's a little bit of narrative going here, but Breece Hall. Now, Aaron Glenn, the head coach there, really pissed me off because Breece Hall is a beast. He could be a workhorse on any team. You just got to give him the volume. They're saying they want to run him with Isaiah Davis and Braylon Allen as a 3-headed monster. There's rumors that the Jets might even try to get Genty if he isn't gone before. And looking at that, man, I mean, we got to hope that the Raiders grab Genty If not, if he ends up on the Jets, this could be an absolute disaster. They're actually looking at him. This is what I heard. There is talk that they would consider Genty. So Genty, Breece Hall, Braylon Allen, it would be a disaster of a committee. They'd completely limit the ceiling of all these players. An absolute disaster. They're already limiting Breece Hall by saying they're going to be in a committee. Now, if you bring in Genty, it absolutely destroys the young man's career. The Jets are cursed. The Jets are terrible. The Jets are probably one of, if not the worst franchises in NFL history. And it's disgusting that they want to do this to their running backs, okay? And it's funny and ironic because we see teams that succeed do it off the back of a workhorse running back. We saw it with the Eagles last year. And then now you want to run this committee and do the opposite of what the Eagles did to succeed. It's ludicrous. It's crazy. Breece Hall sitting as RB10 right now. Very expensive for a guy who is going to end up in a committee, who is going to be in a committee according to what head coach is saying. Ridiculous. Let me know what you guys think, okay? We got 2 more here. Again, hit the thumbs up, subscribe. Make sure you guys do grab the 16-round draft, solutions, sleepers, breakouts, everything you need to crush your leagues. 16 rounds is the game changer. You'll put your light years ahead of the sheep. You can get in right now. Use code DRAFT to save 20%. All right, go do that. All right, number 2, De'Von Achane. I'm not seeing the hype. Finished as RB4 last year. Finished as RB5. Top 5 running back, sitting as RB4. Now, what I don't like about this guy, there's a lot. First of all, his first season, he didn't finish it. Didn't play his entire season. Last year had a good season, but still, 203 rushing attempts. That put him 22nd amongst running backs in rushing attempts. When I'm drafting a guy as my top running back, dude, you got to be running the ball 260, 70, 80 times, the entire season. Not 203, not being 22nd amongst running backs in attempts. Now you can say, well, Joe, he made it up in receptions, 78 receptions, 592 yards, 6 receiving touchdowns. It just seems a little high and a little inflated to get 78 receptions. I just don't see him duplicating those numbers next year. Factor in a regression there in the receiving game, and you're just not going to get a top 5 running back. 970 yards on the ground. Again, this is a top 5 guy. You're paying a premium to get him, and he's not putting up a 1,000-yard rusher, and he's really relying on that receiving game where I think the entire offense has some question marks there, the Miami Dolphins. I'm just not sold on them producing top workhorse running backs, and as you can see, his attempts weren't there, okay? Achane, 1 good year, 1 bad year, very reception dependent. He's not going to get it done all around. He's not the true workhorse running back. So for me, very, very expensive and a lot of uncertainty for a guy I got to spend as top 5 running back. Very expensive. So I'm passing on Achane. Off the chain of chain. All right, and the last one here, it goes without saying, is an obvious one, but I was done with him years ago and definitely done with him last year. I got off the train before it fell, the wheels. Yeah, definitely weird, but the wheels fell off, and it's Christian McCaffrey. He's sitting as a top 10 running back. I think he's currently sitting at like number 7 or 8 or something like that. Listen, the Chiefs are going to keep riding him. They're going to try to save face. Just pass up on him. The guy's 30 years plus. He could come back, have a bit of a bounce back from last year, but don't expect the CMC from a couple years ago. That ship has sailed. He's gone down. Now, mind you, he's still going to get the volume. He's still going to get the workload. I think he's still viable. I think he's still good, but not a guy that I would get excited about. Go for the youth. Go for the upside. Go for the explosiveness, and fade these 30-year-old plus running backs. It's just not good for your team, okay? So, CMC, Devin off the chain, Breece Hall, Jonathan Taylor, and Chase Brown. I'm going to be passing on them. Let me know what you guys are going to be doing. Love to get your feedback, all right? Subscribe, smash it, tap it, slap it. We'll talk soon, and go grab 16 rounds. Use code DRAFT to save 20%. I'll see you in the course. I'll see you guys in the next video. Keeping the conversation and content rolling for you on the #1 fantasy football podcast. Appreciate you guys. We'll talk soon, and fade these running backs.